What's up, everybody? Welcome back. And yeah, I'm catching up on films that were made before I was born. That's an important reminder here because this is a biggie. This is a biggie that I'm about to review here. I know people have already seen the title and you already clicked on it. You know what I'm about to say. Yes, this is true. This was my first time watching this. And by the way, also my first time watching this was the redo version. And it's like almost an hour longer than the theatrical cut, which I did not know until I looked it up later, while I was watching the movie, actually, because I wanted to know. I was like, who's in this cast? Because I was recognizing some voices, and I was like, who is? I was looking at the cast, and then I looked, and I just looked up Apocalypse Now, and I was like, I looked at the runtime, and I saw what the runtime was when I started the film, and I was like, oh my god, the original is like 50 minutes shorter. Oh, shit. Anyway, I'm John Stark from MacTheMovieGuy.com, and this is my review of Apocalypse Now Redo. Or Redux, if you want to just, I don't know, be ghetto about it. But that's a French word, so it's redo. Anyway, yeah, I'm a blind film critic, and I could have seen this. Like I could see at one point in life, I could have seen this, but I was always putting it off. I don't know about war movies. I kind of feel like they're all like they all hit home, you know? Like you see a war movie, and if it's one of the great ones, they all kind of give you the same message. So I just don't know why I didn't watch Apocalypse Now. Like I've seen a lot of the other heavy hitter, not all of them. I'm not gonna cop to saying, that I've seen every single war movie ever, but I just never got around to Apocalypse Now. The funny thing is that if you pay attention to cinema at all, you'll just end up seeing iconic shots from Apocalypse Now because there's so many iconic shots. Like I love the smell of napalm in the morning shot with Robert Duvall and the helicopters and the Ride of the Valkyries. Like that's such an iconic part of the film that I think they play it at the Oscars and they just play it everywhere. They're just anywhere that they can celebrate film, they're always like using that part of the thing. And the other shot that I always end up seeing is the one with Martin Sheen like emerging from the water. That's another sort of iconic shot from Apocalypse Now. And the funny thing is both of those are well described by Tansy Alexander in this cut from Redux. But I have no idea what was in the actual theatrical cut version versus what they added into this. So I'm going to go with this. And this is long as shit. It just is. I don't know if you feel that with the original cut, which is only like 2 hours and 22 minutes. I would imagine you don't, because that's not that long, really is not. I mean, in the grand comparison of films, but like a 3 hour and 12-minute cut is, yeah. He put some stuff in here, and there are some scenes where you kind of sit in it for a little too long. And I don't know that this director's cut serves the film quite as well as it could have. But I feel weird saying that because I haven't seen the original film. But this has audio descriptions, so I live my life based on what has audio description, what's on a streaming service, where can I watch it, and this thing has audio description, and I watched it, and I technically sort of have this film checked off. I just have the director's cut version, I guess, of this film checked off my list. That's it. I'm counting the fact that I've now seen Apocalypse Now, because I've definitely seen Apocalypse Now with all the additional footage. There's a lot of brutal moments in this, and I know this was a pain in the ass for Francis Ford Coppola to shoot, and I know that Marlon Brando was a pain in the ass. He just showed up on set and he just kind of did his own thing, because that's what Marlon Brando does. He just got a reputation for doing that. It's funny that Coppola got this performance out of him, though. He cut this performance together and made this performance work, because it's such a brilliant performance. you can just see Brando getting lost in the role. Like he can, I just feel him just. I don't feel like he's scripted, and I know that a lot of times Brando uses the script as a guide. Like he doesn't ever verbatim, word for word, feel like he has to say the script as written. They do everything from giving cue cards to whatever they can do to try to get him to get as much of the dialogue out as possible, but he still just kind of does his own thing and makes it his own. And he's not wrong. At least not entirely. If it works, it works. And I think it worked here for him. That's my opinion based off of now having seen the Marlon Brando performance, the experience of the performance. Obviously, I didn't get to see it, but I have seen shots of him. Yes, I know he's a little overweight for this role. I know he showed up and he was a little overweight for this role. And Coppola didn't fire him like Peter Jackson fired Ryan Gosling for showing up overweight for The Lovely Bones. And just went with it and just let Brando be Brando. Because, I mean, when you have a great actor, that's what you just let them do. And it pays off. And it paid off with all the other actors, too, by the way. Robert Duvall, of course he deserved a Best Supporting Actor nomination for this. That's a great role for Robert Duvall. But Robert Duvall is always great. Robert Duvall is somebody who, I mean, I didn't look up before this, like how many times has he been nominated for an Oscar? But I'm betting it's above 5. I'm betting he has several Oscar nominations because he was literally one of the best actors we ever had. Very underrated. Dennis Hopper is in this, and he's fantastic. Another rest in peace, fantastic actor. I guess Robert Duvall is still alive. My bad. He was just in Hustle. I don't know why. I just assumed he was dead. Probably because James Caan just died. And I was just like, oh god, so many Godfathers just died. It was James Caan. And they had Harrison Ford and Lawrence Fishburne in smaller roles. And obviously like a bunch of people that we never hear from again also are in this film. But it's a good cast. But damn, Martin Sheen, holy shit, how did he not get an Oscar nomination for this? I Googled it because I wanted to know like contextually for the time period because I wasn't alive. Like, was there some reason that he didn't get a nomination for this? And like there's a huge article like that just like dissects like the bullshit behind why Martin Sheen didn't get nominated and why one of those 5 spots should have been him. And there's like somebody else has a blog of like, Oscar should have beens, and it's like, yeah, I agree. I don't even off the top of my head do not know who the other 5 nominees are, but I guarantee you I could swap one of them out right now for Martin Sheen from Apocalypse Now. I mean, like, he's in the entire film, and when he's not like directly in a scene, he's narrating it. So I feel like one of the most classic films of all time, and he's the film. How did he not get a nomination for this? If his performance wasn't good enough, the film wouldn't work. So the film has to, like, he has to be good, otherwise the film doesn't work. So obviously he's good, so obviously he deserved an Oscar nomination. It's bizarre. It's a bizarre thing that he didn't get nominated for this. It's so weird. Yeah, I can't even get past that. I actually didn't realize he hadn't gotten nominated until I looked at the film's nominations. I was looking at the film's nominations because I had just assumed Sheen got nominated, but I was like, did Brando get nominated for this? And then when I looked at the film's nominations, I was like, wait a minute, Sheen didn't get nominated, only Duvall did? What the fuck is happening here? What is happening in life? So yeah, it's a rabbit hole when you go down when you start thinking about Apocalypse Now. I think it's a crazy good film. It's got a lot of scenes that are really intense. It's really dark. I know this. I know Coppola filmed the shit out of this visually. His aesthetic on this, like I should be picking up on a lot of things that I know that those who can see are seeing, and it's just like blowing their mind. But I tried to get as much from the audio description, and Tansy Alexander was on overtime with the narration, getting as much in as possible. I don't know what was left in or left out, but damn, there's some moments here. It's funny that, you know, you walk into a war film and you walk into a war film that's classic and is known, and you know, it's from the 70s, and you're like, well, maybe it's not as gory as Saving Private Ryan, and then you're like, damn, okay, so it is as gory. And then you remember, wait a minute, okay, because we were doing like Texas Chainsaw Massacre in the 70s, so yeah, we knew how to do that kind of stuff back then. Maybe if this was like from the 40s, you know, the violence would have been toned down. But no, this doesn't hold back at all. This one goes for it. It's crazy. I totally see why this is on the top list. I don't think I'll ever watch the non-director's cut. I don't want to say that because I am young enough that like 30 years from now I may end up just watching Apocalypse Now if it has audio description, just for the hell of it. But it's not something that I'm like, yes, I have to sit through this again, because this is not an entertaining, fun watch. This is not like a happy good time at the movies. If it is for some people, I don't know. That's weird. I mean, it's just like people dying and getting dismembered, and just like lots of bad things happening to a lot of different people. I know this is adapted from Heart of Darkness, Joseph Conrad's book. So yeah, it's everything that I thought it was going to be. The one thing that I did get by watching the director's cut was it was a bit long. I would not have made it that long. I don't even think his director's cut, I think he probably could have taken, I'd say, 10 minutes out and just cut it to 3 hours. You know, just right off at 3 hours, and he's good to go. There are just some scenes that just sit for too long, and that you just end up kind of sitting in them. The scene with the girls just doesn't, you just kind of sit there for a while. When we're sitting with the French guy for, I would say, a little too long. There are some scenes that just kind of slow the pace of the movie down, and I'm not really sure why, and they don't really seem to be that consequential overall. So I would have toned back some of those scenes, just trimmed them just a little bit. Anyway, I feel weird giving Apocalypse Now anything less than an A, just because my problems with the film are related to the fact that I saw the director's cut, which is 50 minutes longer than the original cut. So obviously I wouldn't have problems with the length of the film if I watched something that was 50 minutes shorter. So that in mind, I'm just going to go ahead and say Apocalypse Now is an A, because I don't have any other problems with it other than runtime. But since I watched a film that I didn't realize was that much longer than the original cut, that's on me. that is on me. So yeah. So let me know what you think in the comments, and yeah, please like and subscribe, and continue to watch my channel as I continue to view movies with audio description. And my website's macmovieguy.com. You can go to the audio description project, which is adp.acb.org, and you can look up movies that have audio description, where to watch them. And also the adna.org will let you know what else Tansy Alexander's been up to. She's been up to a lot. She's got a resume up there. You can check it out. And that's it for me today on the Redux. I'm gonna review something else.